episode 45, the Skillshare Show. Today we talk about one of my go-to places for online education, Skillshare. And you are listening to episode number 45 of Mike Murphy Unplugged. Learn, create, move forward. I'm your host, Mike Murphy. I'm a one-man band, I'm a technology junkie, and I love helping people figure things out. And I am really excited to be here with you today. The goal of Mike Murphy Unplugged, it's to help you learn what you need to know in order to create online content so you can move forward in business and in life. And in this episode number 45, what is Skillshare? How does it work? What are the requirements to teach on Skillshare? And what are the benefits of teaching on Skillshare? But first, let's start the show with a question of the week from Ask Mike Anything. For those of you just tuning into the show for the first time, Ask Mike Anything. It's your chance to ask me what you want to know more about. Where are you struggling in your online business? Just head on over to mikemurphy.co. Leave me a question and I will answer it in a future episode. In today's Ask Mike Anything, do you have a recommendation for a good iPhone holder to put on a small tripod? Why, of course I do. The one that I own and recommend, and I've probably mentioned before, is the Mi Photo Sidekick 360. That's by Mi Photo. This is a very well-made metal iPhone or smartphone holder that can stand on its own on a flat surface, or it has several mounting holes on the bottom to put on a tripod or a mic stand. Mi Photo is the same company for the lightweight tripod that I mentioned last week. The Sidekick 360, it also comes in a multitude of colors like the tripod did, and I really love this holder as it is really secure and your iPhone is not going anywhere in it. Plus, there is a ball head on top so you can swivel it around into any position you need for video or live streaming. The Mi Photo Sidekick 360 is a solid choice for a standalone iPhone holder or one that you want to put on a tripod or any type of stand. Alright, so let's jump into episode number 45. Today we discuss the ins and outs of Skillshare, how this rapidly growing learning platform can help you as a podcaster, teacher, and online creator, and how you can get started. Skillshare, it started in New York City and has been around since about 2011. To give you an idea of the size, they have over 1.8 million students, over $5 million has been paid out to teachers, and there are over 6,000 classes in the library. Not bad. The whole concept behind Skillshare is to be a learning community based around creating and doing versus just offering tutorials online classes like many other education platforms. Skillshare's strategy is to attract industry leaders to have a platform to teach project-based learning and to build their own student base. So what I mean by this is that every student needs to enroll in individual classes. So if you are teaching a class, you know exactly how many students are taking your class, and Skillshare provides the tools to communicate and market individual classes while still being active in the overall Skillshare community. Project-based learning. As I mentioned, one of the differentiators of Skillshare is that the platform is project-based, which I think is a great concept. The goal is that at the end of every class, the student actually creates or makes something, which is really the most effective way to learn anything. I have been studying Photoshop for so many years, and the best way to learn by far is project learning. The act of using the tools and doing it yourself versus a classroom-style learning or just browsing or watching tutorials on YouTube, it's night and day. I can't tell you how many After Effects or even other Adobe tutorials I've just watched, and as soon as the lesson's over, I pretty much have no idea what to do of what I just learned. But every time I take a class where there's a finished product at the end, I retain that skill for so much longer. So, how Skillshare works. Skillshare is a membership-based model. There are free classes, then there's premium classes. The instructors decide whether you want to charge or give away your class for free. Most people charge. If you only want to take free classes, Skillshare is free. But if you do want to take premium classes, it's going to cost you $9.99 per month, but you can take unlimited classes, just like Netflix. Most of the classes are premium, so you're probably going to be stuck with that $9.99 per month, but I do have a special referral code since I'm an instructor. If you go to mikemurphy.co/Skillshare and sign up using that link, you're going to get 3 months of premium for 99 cents, which is not a bad deal. So, what can you learn on Skillshare as a student? Well, Skillshare is pretty much a smorgasbord of classes these days, but it is really heavy on design and creative arts, entrepreneurship, social marketing, technology, and there's quite a bit of lifestyle topics such as meditation, health and fitness, productivity, mindset. You name it, it's probably on Skillshare, but I would say it's a great place if you want to learn creative stuff like Photoshop, Illustrator, Premiere, photography, video, lots of Instagram stuff, social media tricks, hacks, tips, all sorts of things. What about the quality? Well, as much as I love Skillshare, the quality of instructors and classes is really kind of hit or miss these days because the barrier of entry to teaching is so low. I am a little concerned about the quality aspect of classes, as Skillshare does not seem to have much of a quality control mechanism in place to get the classes approved, so the consistency of quality is not quite as high as their competitors such as Udemy. Udemy, on the other hand, is really strict, with their video and audio has to meet a certain level, and the overall content has to kind of fit their qualifications. But that being said, there are awesome instructors on Skillshare. Some of the classes are really good, and it's pretty easy to sift through the bad ones, so it's not that big of a deal. Every class has a free intro video, so you can watch 5 seconds of a video and pretty much know if it's worth checking out or not. And there are some really big name brands and instructors on Skillshare. Some such as Seth Godin, Aaron Draplin from Field Notes is one of my favorites. Gary Vaynerchuk has a couple of great classes with really high production and great content. Overall, I give Skillshare a big thumbs up. So if you're out to learn on Skillshare for $9.99 per month or 99 cents for the 3 months using my referral code, you can hone in on your technology, blogging, writing, and design skills and a whole lot more. But my main purpose today of this episode is to introduce you to the benefits of teaching on Skillshare. So, how do you start teaching on Skillshare? Can anyone do it? What is required to launch your first class, and what should you teach? The requirements to teach. As I mentioned earlier, the barrier of entry to teach on Skillshare is pretty low. There are some technical hurdles that you'll need to master and get down, but for the most part, it's pretty straightforward to teach. It is something I definitely recommend you consider. I'm not going to lie, it is challenging to get off the ground and running. Anyone can teach on Skillshare. All you need is something to teach, and because it's project-based, you need some type of end goal or product students should be able to achieve or work on as a result of your class. The project is pretty loose, so it's nothing to really worry about, but that is one of the strictest requirements that Skillshare sort of enforces. For example, my first class was on Photoshop. I gave them the exercise files to download and practice on. I showed them how to do it, and then I said, you try and show me your results. Once the students completed the assignments, you then tell them, to upload them so that the community can see and check it out. I'll be honest, this is a struggle for most of the classes. The community is not super vibrant, but that is the model of Skillshare. I love the concept. It just hasn't really taken off in full effect. The length of classes. Skillshare is all about the micro classes, and this is sort of a new push on their part. Skillshare is really encouraging these snack-sized classes of 20 minutes as the ideal length. That's awesome. Pretty much one long tutorial broken into 4 or 5 parts if you really break it down. This is really good news for podcasters and online content creators, as Skillshare is really making it easy to build an online education career or an online education platform that can be a nice supplement to your income. It's a good marketing tool, and if you really go on, it could be a full-time living for you. There are several people making pretty good monthly income teaching online with Skillshare and Udemy and other private platforms. So, what to teach? The 2 most common hurdles people face about teaching online is what should I teach and am I qualified to teach online? I've had these questions pop up for myself, especially before I launched my first class. You need to get over this immediately. To teach on Skillshare or online in general, the easiest approach is to think small and simple. Don't try to teach the world how to use all of Photoshop. Teach one thing in Photoshop that you know well or that you do all the time. Or whatever your specialty is, look at the small pieces and start there. A very good starting point is to just think about a typical workday, whether it be at your full-time job or your side project. What do you do every day that is second nature to you and almost seems silly because it's so easy? Remember my favorite Derek Sivers quote, "What's obvious to you is amazing to others." There are people on Skillshare teaching how to make marinara sauce or cookies, so you probably have more skills and specialties than you realize. It does make sense, though, to hover around the topic or specialty that you want to be known for, but don't overthink it, and don't try to teach too much. The key is to get started. I know it's hard. I am changing my approach a little bit for teaching on Skillshare. I'm really drilling down to simplify the courses to short and sweet. All about the topics that I discuss on this podcast, I'm converting into short form courses. So why teach? You may be wondering, what are the benefits of teaching on platforms like Skillshare? There are plenty of benefits of teaching, but here are 3 big ones to start to get you motivated. Number 1, money or income. Skillshare has a pretty interesting revenue sharing plan. Skillshare keeps half of the profits each month from the membership dues and divides the other half among the teachers. So the more profitable Skillshare becomes, the larger the membership grows, the more money there is to divide among the instructors. Pretty cool. How much money you make per month really varies, but the more classes you teach and the more students you have, the more money you're going to make. Number 2 reason of teaching, authority and marketing. You know I talk a lot about authority, but having online classes is kind of like having a book. You become an instant expert in many people's eyes if you have an online course. And actually, you do become an expert the more you talk about a topic and teach, and that is a good thing. Skillshare allows you to make coupons and promo codes, so if you're trying to get clients or people to sign up for a product or service, pass out the promo code, much like passing out a business card or a lead magnet. Content is king in both traditional and social marketing, and teaching and having online classes gives people confidence that you know what you are talking about. A third reason of teaching, why it's good, is that you become better for it. Making online classes is one of the ultimate training programs for you to develop and grow as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, as a teacher, as everything. Making a class on Skillshare will stretch you creatively, technically, and it's going to help you grow your online presence. The more you teach and talk about your subject of expertise, the better you are becoming in all aspects of your business. You will get better at writing and speaking and time management and so many different skill sets after creating a course. Not to mention your video skills are going to improve, your screencasting skills. Your confidence will soar and you will be a better you, and that is a good thing. So teaching and creating courses is hard work, but the rewards are definitely worth it. So in conclusion, as you can probably sense, I am a fan of Skillshare. The quality of courseware is not quite up to par with my girl Linda and some of my other online education sites, but I am a big fan of their snack size and project-based learning model, and in fact, that is what I want my entire business to focus on. Short, focused mini courses, and Skillshare is really pushing the style of learning which I like. So Skillshare is a great place to be a student and to learn new skills for $9.99 per month, but I also really encourage you to take a stab at teaching a class. It takes a lot of hard work at first and some technical chops. Not only is it a great way to supplement or possibly become your main income, but you build authority and marketing chops and you will improve in business and in life. If there is one thing for certain today, that sharing what you know and teaching your process is one of the most effective and necessary tactics in online business today, and especially for podcasters and creative entrepreneurs. Creating a class on Skillshare is the perfect platform to dip your toe in the course making process in case you want to make more in-depth signature classes for your brand down the road. My first few classes have been rough in terms of my standards, but the next one is going to get better, and they will for you too. Each time you do it, it's going to get easier and better. If you are already creating content or you already have a podcast, I can tell you, you are more than ready to teach a class on Skillshare. And I have a favor to ask of you. If you're listening to this class and you currently have a class on Skillshare, or if you're thinking about it, please let me know. Email me at mike@mikemurphy.co. I would love to hear about it. And if you need someone to help you with the topic, or if you just want to bounce some ideas around, I'm here for you. So my goal is to have 4 more classes by the end of the year on Skillshare. I challenge you to make 1. What do you say? You're going to thank me as soon as you hit publish. You got this. And as always, I thank you for taking the time out of your day to listen to this podcast. If you have a question or a topic you'd like me to discuss in a future episode, please send me an email, send me out a tweet, however you can reach me. Also, if you haven't signed up for the newsletter yet, head on over to MikeMurphy.co and be sure to do so for the latest news, updates, and some cool trivia. I thank you for joining me today. I hope you join my one-man band, and together we can learn, create, and move forward. Cheers.